So on to our next scheduled speaker, who probably does not need much of an introduction, but she's going to get a great one anyway, and that's Fernanda Giannasi. We are just delighted to have Fernanda with us. I want to tell you a bit about her. Fernanda is the founder of the Brazilian Association of People Exposed to Asbestos, also known as ABREA, A-B-R-E-A. She is a civil and safety engineer and an ex-labor inspector for the Ministry of Labor and Employment for 30 years. Currently, she's retired and acting as an expert advisor for the labor prosecutors, Federal Labor Public Ministry, as well as asbestos victims solicitors. Fernanda has led thousands of workers who have filed lawsuits against the asbestos industry. In charge of a federal labor inspector, she staunchly defended the public interest on worker safety and health and was pressured by the asbestos lobby of both Brazil and Canada, enduring all kinds of pressures, harassments, and even including death threats and offensive campaigns and criminal charges by her detractors. Despite these, she has continued her advocacy. Fernanda is often known as the Brockovich of Brazil, and I'm sure from your presentation you will find out just exactly why she is known as that. Fernanda, we're delighted to have you with us.
Hi, thank you. Good afternoon. Initially, I greet all the participants in one more edition of ADAO's conference, and I thank you especially my friend Linda Heisting for this honorable invitation. Thank you so much. I'm really honored to be with so many people around the world. I'm speaking from Brazil, representing the Brazilian asbestos victims, ABREA, present our work in order to implement this next one, slide. The Supreme Court's ruling that banned asbestos in whole country since November 30th, 2017. This decision has been blackmailed by the asbestos mining company SAMA, owned by Eternity Corporation, with dismissed 300 workers and filed dozens of appeals. It is a true legal battle. Injunctions were since there. Sorry, injunction, it's missing one N in the word, sorry. Next one. This is the timeline since the banishment of the asbestos was declared. Next one. Eternity announces several material facts to the shareholders and the general market. This one from December 50, after the ruling by the Constitutional Supreme Court announcing that had suspended the mining activities until second order and informing that all their fiber cement plants are using only polypropylene synthetic fibers replacing asbestos. They inform also in this material fact they will file appeals to reverse the decision. Next. This other material fact from March 19th, they announced in 2018, they announced their request for court supervised reorganization to bankruptcy, mainly accusing us because of the ban of asbestos. Next. This one from January 10th, 2018, they state, 2019, they stated they are suspending sales of the remaining stocks of asbestos fibers in the domestic market, and that they will continue exporting its production to clients in countries where the product is still permitted, such as the United States, India, Indonesia, Malaysia. For United States, especially, they are exporting for the chlor-alkali sector. Next slide. This one from January the 10th, 2019, stated that they are suspending sales of the remaining stocks of asbestos fibers in the, sorry, I'm reading, I'm sorry, I have already told you that they continue to exporting for countries like United States, India, Indonesia, Malaysia. Next one, Eternity announces March 31st that they are going to hibernation of some assets and consequently terminate all its employees unpaid leave for 75 days. They were not receiving any money for 75 days, workers, and they were dismissed. And they mentioned losses of almost $1 million because of our actions against asbestos. Next one, the governor of Goiás state, where the mining company is located, enacts a law allowing asbestos exports. Of course, it's evident the unconstitutionality of the law. ABREA and the Labor Prosecutors Association filed an action at the Supreme Court to declare the unconstitutionality of the law. Unfortunately, the trial scheduled for September 15th this week was postponed dateless sine die because there was not quorum in the sessions to decide our complaint. One justice was not, one of the 10 justices was not there. And for this, we didn't have our trial, expected the trial for a long time. Next one. This slide is missing, but I have here a newspaper that announced this. I don't know if it's possible to be, we can see, but it announced the illegal exports through our biggest seaport in Brazil, based in our unquestionable law in force that bans the asbestos in São Paulo state. Labor prosecutors and the labor judges worked together with us from ABREA to halt the traffic of asbestos raw in our roads, and they embark in the ships, obliging the cargo return to the producer, based on the principle of polluter payer. This slide is correct now. Eternity announces in August 20th that received a notification of a public civil action filed by the Federal Prosecution Office, whose injunction ordered the immediate suspension of all activities of its subsidiary, mining company Sama. Next one, bad news. Once more, the injunctions war is present in our work life for a long time. In September 4th, they announced, Eternity announced that the Superior Court of Justice, it's not the Constitutional Court, it's another court, suspended the effects from the ruling given to the public civil action until a final decision is given based on the merits of the main lawsuit. Sama informs as well that they returned its operating activities of exportation grounded in the Goiás state law. even stating in their material facts to be under court supervised reorganization, maternity is incorporating a new fiber cement plant in the holding. Previously, this company was an asbestos cement plant, which was converted in asbestos-free. As well, they announced that they paid all their debts and that they are practically recovered of the risk of a bankruptcy. And announced too a new product, a revolutionary product, concrete tiles with photovoltaic cell included to store sun energy. They say that this is a revolutionary product, very, very innovation in this market of roofing. And that the last one, Brazil is practicing the immoral double standard, an environmental injustice against the human rights. The struggle goes on, and we will not give up. Thank you.
Thank you, Fernanda. I appreciate it very much. And I do see that the struggle goes on. And we know with you there in Brazil that you're going to continue to do great things. And we appreciate everything you do for the citizens of your country. And we appreciate you sharing with us all that you have gone through and continue to work for.